Hello and welcome to the channel Life of a Dad. We know what it's about now. It's about load. It's about pressure we all feel as dads, and the responsibility we've got to our children to make sure you prepare them for this difficult world. The topic of today's video is getting good. We talked about the quitting framework and getting good at quitting in one of the last videos, and this one's more about getting good and listening to your gut. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but COVID's probably a good example of listening to your gut. So during COVID I had some health issues and was a bit more vulnerable than probably I normally am, or other people are. So my family wanted me to have the vaccine. Now at the time I didn't know anybody who died of COVID. I did lose family members during that time period, but they were very, very elderly, very, very poor health. I didn't know anybody who didn't have any underlying conditions who had any problems with it. Those who had got it, vaccinated and unvaccinated, seemed to be no worse than a common cold. So, because I was vulnerable, I kind of had the vaccine. In hindsight, a good vaccine takes 20 years to develop. The technologies that they were employing to create a vaccine under duress and create it in several months. Now, the government allowed these pharmaceutical companies to send a product to market that hadn't been rigorously tested. Is it rigorously or vigorously tested? What should happen with a new vaccine is it should be tested on multiple levels. Most people have got underlying conditions, and they might take diabetes drugs, or they might take blood pressure medication, and every available chemical that you put into your body, it should be tested its interaction with, so we can get a full panel of how safe it really is. But all these sorts of tests weren't completed, and it was rushed to market. Now, whenever there's a huge incentive of profit, it alters behaviour. So all these pharmaceutical companies basically had an opportunity to get their hands on lots and lots of profit. Not only that, if you're a little bit say conspiracy theory minded, it was an opportunity to give us something that could weaken our immune system, so in time we'll be more dependent on medication. And so they can almost create a business model where they can create the demand. Anyway, that's by the by. So because I was vulnerable, I had the medication, the vaccine. Have I felt well since I've had it? Not really. What I suffered with, go dizzy now and again. But the main problems I've faced is almost like I've googled it, reactive arthritis. So struggling opening a tin of beans, or just simple things, sore neck, sore back all the time, just inflammatory. I feel they've been inflamed all the time. Well, that's my experience of the COVID vaccine. Now, fast forward a couple of years on, and I've had a really tragic few months. I've lost a lot of male friends of a very similar age to me, between 40 and 50. All very, very similar in terms of blood clots and heart attacks and strokes. Very, very young men. So again, got to get good listening to your gut. I've got more tangible data that's self-generated from my own experience that I need to listen to when something doesn't feel right. So again, we're getting to a conspiracy theory, and that's not a topic of this video as such. Other examples of listening to your gut is that there was a young lady who was an estate agent who went to show property to a potential client, and he subsequently murdered the estate agent. Now, the estate agent's mother said at some point during that house viewing, she would have felt nervy, or she would have had some sort of feeling in her gut telling her the situation wasn't quite right. And if she'd listened to that gut and ran out of that house, there might have been a different outcome. So I think we all need to get good at listening to our gut. It applies to every situation in our life, whether it be relationships, whether it be work, and again it feeds into the quitting framework we talked about. But this gut that we've been blessed with is the most powerful tool that we've got in terms of our own survival and our own, you know, mental well-being and our own feeling of being at peace. And if you don't get good listening to your gut and you keep yourself in toxic situations, then potentially you can live an unhappy life. You know, then people start to medicate with antidepressants and anti-anxiety drugs, and it's all because they haven't got good at quitting and they haven't listened to their gut. And so we need to really powerfully own those skills of listening to that gut and acting on it as quickly as possible. So that's the topic of today's video. I hope you know, you take it all in a bit of context, and I hope it provides you with some guidance for the future.